Good morning, friends. You're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry. Well, I'm up to get things started for Irene's casting session today. She's in bed. Nice place to be. Well, let's get started. I just turned on the dewaxer. This piece of equipment makes the studio less stinky when the burnout happens. Burnout happens in this device right here. I'll be stacking a bunch of flasks that hold the waxes that Irene's made in here and setting it up so that it starts melting the wax out. But first, it has to be de-waxed. Not very exciting, not a whole lot to see, but still has to be done. Starting the process for a casting session has long periods of boredom. For example, the dewaxer takes time to get up to temperature. It's been about 45 minutes and there's steam coming out of the dewaxer now. That means I get to go ahead and put in these flasks that Irene's labeled. Now the trick is I need to put them in an order that when I put them into the burnout oven, Irene will be able to take them out in the order that she wants. And that means I have to put them in reverse order. Well, I'll get started. I just set the timer for another hour. So, another hour, and I'll move them from the dewaxer into the burnout oven. Like I said, short periods of doing something followed by long periods of waiting. You may wonder why Irene cares about the order that these flasks go into the burnout oven. Well, first they go into the dewaxer in the reverse order. The reason is really quite simple. This casting session is going to have two different metals, bronze and silver. Each of the metals has a different set of requirements, different casting temperature, at least for the molten metal. And more importantly, each of the flasks requires a different amount of metal to fill it. So she needs to know which flask she's going to be pouring. Each of the flasks has a number on the top, carved in. Why carved, you might ask? It's pretty simple. The burnout oven gets pretty close to 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, things like pencils burn off, and you can't tell what's in the flask. By carving a number into the top, she knows exactly what that cast is for, so she can have the right amount of metal. And it's time to get the burnout oven started. It takes a little while to set it up. As long as it hasn't had the program messed up, it's simply a matter of going through all the different parameters and making sure they're still the same. hold time for the run that we're going to do today needs to be higher. So I'll start changing that. Now the burnout oven is all now programmed. I'm going to turn off the de-waxer. This whole thing is being operated on our solar system. And the burnout oven just turned on, so I'm going to go ahead and start transferring the flasks. Well, now that burnout oven's going to run for a bunch of hours. The only thing we have to do is make sure that the power doesn't go off. I'll double check the solar system here in just a minute, and then I'll be heading back up to the house to fix some breakfast and then take a nap. We'll come back later. Well, 6 hours after I started this morning, I'm going to go check the batteries in the utility building, because right now I'm pulling electricity from the utility building down to the studio. And Irene's going to come down and we'll check things out and see how it's going. Right now, Irene's busy feeding Jack. She'll be down in a couple minutes. I just checked the batteries, and they're doing fine. I have about 50% capacity left. Beautiful, bright, sunny day, so I think we'll be fine until it's time to actually start the physical casting process, when we need to run a couple of furnaces. They're the electric ones, which means that we need to have enough power, and that's about 3,000 watts. Certainly the utility building could supply it, but I'm not too sure about the amount of battery that I'll have left at that point. We'll go take a look to see how things are going. You know, it's a really good thing we don't have smell-o-vision on our channel. The studio smells really bad. What's happening now is the burnout oven is burning that wax. Temperature's up to 1080 degrees. As I say, we're 6 hours in. You're not supposed to be tired.
Oh, I don't know. I was just really tired this morning.
Well, let's turn the lights off and
Crash into everything.
Crash into everything and head for the house.
You know, a rabbit population is smaller this summer.
There's a rabbit up on top of the block yesterday.
Yeah, they usually eat all these.
They didn't do a very good job this summer.
No, they didn't actually. They must not have been quite as desperate or something because of the 2 waves of water that they got.